Good morning and welcome to CLIC Live. I'm your host, Craig Sullivan. We've got a very special guest today. We've got Stephen J. Cloobeck. He is running for governor. He is a devoted father, job creator, entrepreneur, philanthropist, activist, team builder, co-founder and CEO of Cloobeck Companies, LLC. And you might remember him from Diamond Resorts. So this is a very important election, possibly the most important election that we've had in modern history in the state of California for governor. And it is an absolute honor to welcome Stephen to CLIC Live. Stephen, thank you for joining us today. How are you?
Great. Thank you for having me, Craig.
It means the world to us to have you here and to present you to the California voters and commercial real estate and the rest of the business community here. This is an important election, and I've been following your interviews and what you've had to say, and I find it all very important and right on target. So I appreciate you making the time for us. So let's get into this, Stephen. With California having the fourth largest global economy, how are you going to help us grow as a state and deal with all of the issues surrounding our housing shortage as well?
Greg, I grew up in Southern California like you, and we had all this aspiration. I am the product of the great California that was the bully pulpit of the United States. In all the great exports we have, not in any order, but innovation, manufacturing, agriculture, travel and tourism, entertainment, and education. We were the best in class. And, look, I was able to rent an apartment coming out of college, working as a young man in Southern California, and end up buying a condominium. And we don't have that anymore. California is not open for business, it's not affordable, livable, or workable, but there are solutions. We can grow our great exports, and $4.1 trillion isn't even close to what we can become. But we also have to do that with performance and results, Craig, because we've elected leadership. Look, I fix the most broken of businesses. Everyone's bet against me each time. I helped create the Tourism Department of the United States. I ran Nevada. I've created laws in many states, and I've been a judge, I've been a regulator. So I come to the table with unique skill sets that don't exist. And this was not intended for me to do this. It wasn't on my bucket list. I interviewed every single candidate, both Democrat and Republican. And I said, this is the best we got. And I don't want my children to leave this great state, our country of California. We need fighters for our great country, state. And we need people who know how to fix broken problems, people who've signed the front of a check, people that absolutely appreciate everyone in California is a customer and deliver performance and results. So I'm going to create the California Department of Performance and Results, known as CPR, which we need. And I know that's kitschy, but it's true. Everyone else is compromised, Craig. And I'm doing this selflessly, and I'm good at it. And I'm going to fight for us and protect our money, because these folks that unfortunately we all have elected think it's their money. Yeah. And we have too many regulations. So there are a lot of techniques that we've used in business, and it's going to require business leadership to solve these problems.
I agree with you. And I love your CPR, California Performance and Results. It's true. And leaning into that, our state needs to be modernized. Agencies, departments. How will you accomplish this? Because I think typically most governmental agencies are minimum of 10 years behind on their computers and softwares and everything like that. And I think that's part of the equation of fixing California.
Oh, Greg, I've interviewed close to over 300 people, tip to tail in the state. And when I hear the CEO of Chevron and the head of the farm workers tell me the same thing, our leaders have forgotten about the best customers. And I've also seen some beautiful bright spots in the state of people that we have working within our state that have ideas, innovation that have not been put in leadership roles. For example, what you just said, we're operating analog where we should be digital. And that will be part of performance and results. I'm used to fixing broken. I took over a 20-year failed company, unfixable to many. And guess what? We not only fixed it, we thrived, and we survived during 08 and 09. And everyone thought everyone was dead at that time. So I got like a double hit, unintended consequences. And unfortunately, our leadership does not think this way. And that's why it's going to require business leadership of those that are proven in business, that have signed the front of a check and fixed the most broken, and do it selflessly. Do it selflessly.
Couldn't agree more with you. And that has been a problem for decades. I absolutely agree with you on that, Stephen. Prop 13, this was something that Jarvis and his people created and has helped out California for decades. And we seem to be having a few of our legislative people trying to modify it. I think it's critically important that this gets saved. What are your thoughts on Prop 13?
Look, it comes up every now and again. We've seen this. Let's go attack. Let's go talk to Hertzberg. The guy's tried it numerous times, and he's one of the smartest there is legislatively. I mean, he's truly a master. I don't think you can fix Prop 13. I think I got to work around it. You're going to have to work around it. It's going to be an insurmountable task. So when you got to pick and choose what we can and can't do over the next decade, right? Yeah. And if you look at what's happened over the past decade, for example, 45,000 new state employees, FTEs in our state, 45,000. That's because we're overregulated. And look, I'm good. I was a regulator, and I was in highly regulated businesses, so I come from both sides. Regulations are good to keep bad actors out, but too many regulations inhibit good business from doing good business. I've said this before. I'm as hard center as there is. Old school Democrat. Balance sheet income statement, and we don't steal. Proposition 36 didn't go far enough in my book. $950 is a dollar too much. We don't steal. And there are simple solutions here, Craig. And it's going to take some bold leadership that is not compromised, that does not pander, that takes care of all the customers in California.
I agree. Thank you for that. I think it is common sense, and it's
common sense. It was told to me, Craig. Common sense is uncommon sense.
I might have to send you a copyright check on that one. I think I'm going to use that.
Take it. And I have no pride of authorship. Take it. I want everyone to do well. And in my world, everyone aspires. This is why I come to this uniquely, Craig. And, my dear friend said to me, why are you doing this? You don't need this. Well, I said, but if I don't, who will? So you have to stand up. And frankly, Craig, I need a job. I'm unemployable. So no, but I love actually doing. I've never had more fun in my life doing this. I've learned a lot. I know what I don't know.
Yeah.
And I love people. I've been in the hospitality space my career. I'm all about the customer, and I bring to the table that everyone's a customer in California.
Exactly.
And I'm not a politician. I'm not, but I have been around politics and policy 39 years. When I bought a public company, I had to hold an election. And I didn't need 50 plus 1. I needed over 90% of the vote, and that was tough. Yeah. So I do the most difficult. I enjoy it, and then I move on. No trophies. I want my team to get trophies, and I'll take the incoming bullets. I am truly the leader that is right for the job today.
That is leadership, and you're one of those unique individuals that drew me to hospitality. Okay. Because our leadership group in here, it's about the team. It's about everybody. And it's every time I'm talking at a conference, especially if it's other commercial real estate asset classes, I tell them I work in the best commercial asset class possible. That's hotels and hospitality. And I truly believe that. Another tough subject has been water in the state. It's feast or famine. What are your thoughts? How would your administration alleviate some of the water issues that we're having? I mean, it seems like a candidate for major infrastructure rebuilding and new projects, but that's not the only answer.
Well, look, it takes good leadership to understand the systems in place. We have a state system and a federal system in California. It's two systems. For example, when President Trump came to town with the fires in Los Angeles, he says, just turn the spigot on. It does not work that way. It's kind of cute reality moment. We have 9 regions of water, and you've got to fluctuate with climate, So it's a balance in understanding really what we're doing and how we're acting. And it depends on what the customers of California needs and desires are. And we've got to ask those tough questions. What is most important to us? And then how do we deliver the result for all the customers of California, the taxpayers?
Yeah, absolutely. Taxes, transparency,
Well, Craig, I'm all about accountability, and boy, we have a lack of that.
Yeah.
I mean, at the state level, with regard to EDD, COVID, fraud, okay, they want you to forget, but I haven't forgotten it. There's like $30 billion of missing money. Okay. And then we have another $20 billion of homelessness money unaccounted for. You and I, if we were executives at a company and we had that on our watch, I don't think we'd last too long. So we're going to have to collect that money, Craig. We're going to find out where it is. And so I'm going to put up a bounty of 10%. Come tell me where the money is.
Yeah.
I think all of us would pay handsomely 10% to get 90% of our money back any day of the week. So that's like a $5 billion bounty I'm willing to put up to get our money back, and then hold cities and counties accountable with regard to the same, i.e. Mayor Bass and the almost $2 billion in Los Angeles. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And, it goes to the concept of deleting texts. Who deletes texts? Yeah. I mean, look, there are so many things. Who doesn't fill a reservoir over $170,000? Life safety? Come on, you've been in the hospitality space too. That's the number one thing we wake up about every day. Life safety, our first responders, keeping everyone safe. And then we got to make sure in that safety realm that there's no crime in our homes, our schools, our businesses, that all the criminals are taken care of or deported, right? And I think we can all agree on that one, but it's got to be done in a sane, humane way, and that touches immigration.
Yeah, I agree. Immigration has been a political ping pong ball for decades by both parties, and we have to come together and get it resolved without a doubt. We need to be open for business. We need the migrant workers in our fields. Agriculture, you and I are part of a generation where we remember that California is the breadbasket for the entire country.
We still are. We still are.
Yeah. And, we need those workers. There's other states that need those workers as well.
Well, our housing industry needs those workers too, Rick.
Yeah. Yeah. Any hope of getting the Palisades and Altadena rebuilt in a reasonable time manner, we need those workers. And shortage.
And speaking of that, you talk about the crisis in Altadena and the Palisades. You got all these charities too. There's a good component part of public-private partnerships with the state, right? With charities that operate properly, that aren't squandering G&A, general and administrative expenses, right? So I'd like to set up a certification process for all charities in the entire state. And if you don't meet certain specifications, you don't get licensed. Right. Okay, so if you look at, fire aid, where's all that fire aid money, Craig?
Yeah.
Let's go talk to the Azofs about that. And then you got Steadfast LA to keep the Palisades. How come they weren't uniquely fighting SB 549? How come I have talked to so many people in the field, and there's a group of 120 people in the Palisades, not one person's seen any funds or any help? Okay, so you've got that charity, and then you got the state charity with with Governor Newsom and Magic Johnson, and then Evan Spiegel, the ex-Snapchat founder. I mean, where's all this money to help the people in Altadena and the Palisades? So it's okay if you want to start these charities, but you got held accountable for the last home to be rebuilt, the last school to be rebuilt, and the last business to be opened, and not be self-serving. Can these folks actually roll up their sleeves? And I'm seeing this on both sides, Craig. And I'm here to just call it as I see it.
No, you're right. And I've been following these stories of late with, some of these charities and who they've been giving money to.
Well, can you tell me? Because what I found out is the money went from Fire Aid to the Annenberg Foundation. Then the Annenberg Foundation gave money to countless other charities. So how much G&A is being taken on G&A, right? Off the top and administrative expenses. And I have not found anyone that has received dollars in the street, on the ground in Altadena or Palisades.
Nobody has.
Well, then can we call bullshit on this?
Yes, we can. Yeah, big bullshit on this one.
Can we just talk frankly? And look, you and I have nothing to gain here other than to call it as we see it. And everyone's got, what's their angle? What are they trying to do? Well, I don't have an angle. You don't have an angle. I'm here to help all of us, the customers of California. And this has got to stop bureaucratically. It's got to stop on the charity side. And enough pontificating. Let's make sure California's that bully pulpit again. And even with the federal government, unify. Use ourselves as the bully pulpit. We don't resist.
Right.
We don't resist. I mean, let's use our strength. Let's be offense.
I love it. And we do need to be on offense. Something else you said that struck me, Stephen, is no new laws. And I'm liking that idea. I believe in regulation. I don't believe in over-regulation. And I think, we need to take a pause on any new laws. That possible exception are going to be for the safety of citizens and visitors of the great state of California. We all need to be safe. No doubt about that. I think you get no argument from anybody on that. But would you explain your no new laws theory, please?
Sure. Well, it's in two component parts. First of all, I'd like to hear from every Californian what impedes you from doing business in California. Yeah. And let's see if we can fix it. Okay. That's number one. Number two is let's take the laws that are on the books today and let's see what that return on investment is. And it can be capital profit, but also there's social profit. I have a concept called social profit. Craig, I mean, how does it improve our lives or our safety? So there's two types of profit. And you got to roll back some of the insanity. I mean, just go talk to the founders of In-N-Out. Why'd they leave? Why Chevron leaving? Why'd Phillips 66 leave? We didn't talk to our best customers. They'll tell you why they left.
Yeah.
You got to listen to them and then educate the legislature, the Senate, and the Assembly as to what's going on here. It can't be an echo chamber. A true governor of this state should teach, coach, and counsel with experience and listen to the great customers of our state to make us thrive, but more importantly, survive right now because we're not surviving.
I agree with you. It's see, this is why I wanted to have Stephen on the show. It's common sense. It's, this is the greatest state in the union. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Craig, I'll tell you this. I operated in 35 countries around the world.
Yeah.
It's the greatest state, the greatest country on planet Earth. There is nothing better. I chose to come back home. This was my dream, and I'm living my dream. I paid the toll to come back into the state.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to live my dream, and I want everyone else to do that and aspire like I did, and you have done too.
Yeah. And that's the same thing that I want for my son and my grandson, Well, my grandson is a third generation born in California.
Impressive.
I was the first. And this is that back then, this was the land of milk and honey. We had veterans retiring here, coming back from Korea, such as my father. My mother and aunt in the 50s graduated from UM and moved and bought a car and drove across the country and moved to California. So we've always had that entrepreneurial spirit here. And if you look at it, we export the greatest entertainment in the world to the entire world. I love your plan on upping the tax credits for the film and television industry.
Well, actually, Craig, it's an investment in. So when I ran tourism in the United States, I learned and was teaching everyone in the Senate and the House. Tourism and travel is an export. It's counterintuitive, and in our state too. Travel and tourism is an export. Entertainment is an export, and the multiplier that we get back, all the way down to the dry cleaners.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone benefits. And so it's an investment in. It's not a tax credit bothers me because of just the nomenclature. And sometimes people, when they say mental health, I say brain health. And I learned that from the great Dr. Amen down at Costa Mesa. So there are words that are better suited. It's not climate change. It's making the climate better for our children.
Right.
Okay. So we are embracing their future. It's words, in hospitality, we take care of our guests all the time. We take care of our team. We take care of our guests. Running California should be no different, but we need leaders who have done it, not these career hacks that are compromised.
There you go. Stephen, last question. What would you like the audience, the voters, the commercial real estate, the business owners, operators, people contemplating moving to the great state of California, what do you want them to know about your platform?
I have your back, and I'll make sure the great state of California is off your back.
I love it. Stephen, you've got an open invitation to come back anytime you want to share any information. Thank you for joining us today. It means the world to us to have you here and have this conversation. And thank you very much.
California will be back open for business.
Love it.
Thanks, Craig.
Take care, Stephen. Thank you, our audience, for joining us today. I wanted to present Stephen to the audience, and he's impressive. He's got great information to give, and he can help the state of California. So thank you all for joining us today. We'll be back with another CLIC Live soon. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.